Coming up on the center of it all. Did you know the oldest gas station in America is right down the road? We set out to see what sets it apart from the rest. Grilling season is upon us and we have a burger for you, but it's not made with beef. All that and more right here on the center of it all. Good morning and thank you for joining me on the center of it all. Now we are here in studio, but we still have some exciting stories for you. Now summertime is always filled with patriotic holidays, and here in central Pennsylvania, no celebration is bigger than the 4th. But before you rush out and buy a new flag, here's a way that you can still get some wind through the old threads.
The red, white, and blue, a symbol of freedom, yet a sign of force. The American flag requires our utmost respect and care. For patriots who display her, one local business provides a great service to accomplish that mission.
We think this is a great way to give back to the community. It helps people get their flags ready for Flag Day and the 4th of July. And hopefully it encourages people to put their flags out and show a little bit of patriotism.
Offering free flag cleaning through the month of June has become a 30-year tradition at Balford's. And like any endeavor, there are always stories that have taken place over the years.
My father just told me a story that one of the first years they did it, we didn't put a limit on the size, and we got like a 20 by 30 flag, a huge flag we could barely fit in the dry cleaning machine. So unfortunately we had to start capping what size flags we could do. But hopefully 4 by 6 is still pretty large, so hopefully we're able to accommodate most people's needs.
Each flag receives an inspection upon arrival, and while some just need to be dry cleaned, others get hand scrubbed and washed by Donna Chronister, who ensures that no material is damaged. The flag should then be hung to dry completely before being pressed and then returned to the customer. While tedious, Monica wishes they could do more.
We don't get as many as we'd like to, probably 30 or 40. I don't know what it is. I don't know if people don't think about it or think, hey, I'm just going to buy a new one, or, but flags are definitely able to be cleaned and they come out beautifully. So it's something to consider before you go and buy a new flag.
The reason why we treat the flag with such honor and respect is because it is an embodiment of who we are as a country and what we stand for as a nation. For the center of it all, I'm Andrew Callista.
Remember that if the flag cannot be cleaned and is no longer an appropriate symbol, it should be properly destroyed. Then, when purchasing a new one, make sure it is made in the USA. When you stop to put gas in your car, do you ever wonder how long the gas station has been around or where the oldest gas station in America is? We did, and when we found it, it was no ordinary place. It started out as a blacksmith shop in the late 1800s. For most of its history, Altoona was known as a large railroad center, and to keep up with the hustle and bustle of busy travelers was Rikers. The station began selling gasoline in 1909, making that its official opening date. During the 1920s and 30s, Rikers was open 24/7, something that seems normal today but was simply unheard of back then. Today, Rikers has daily hours, but one thing they have not changed is their 5-star service.
So they're quick, and they're courteous and very professional. Clean your windshields, which is very unusual. Check your pressures.
They, as in employees, some of which have been there for over 20 years, like manager Russell Brown.
It's a privilege to work here. It's a real honor to work for the company, and a real honor to work for the oldest gas station in America.
The guys that work there take pride in what they're doing and enjoy the history of it.
And that pride and history is more than pumping gas. You pull into Rikers and you'll see an attendant with a smile ready to help you with anything you need. And because of that, customers like Cheryl Nail have been coming to Rikers for the past 10 years.
I love it because I don't like to get out and pump gas. I don't like to smell like gas. In the windshield, it's full service. Air in my tires anytime I need it. Oil check, everything.
Service at no additional charge. Rikers was awarded the longest running gas station in America and has it proudly painted across the building. It came as a surprise to the Martin Oil Company, but it brought pride to the community.
We got incredible comments, which we did have posted all over Rikers about how much they appreciated the service and how nice and professional the attendants are. It's pretty neat if you're not having anybody pump your gas for you. It's a very nice experience.
Pump your gas, clean your windshield, something that has faded away in our area, most likely because of price. So why keep it going?
We're proud of that history. We think it represents, it's an important part of America. You know, it was a big part of the Industrial Revolution. It was a large part of why Altoona became successful. Or lived and grew it all, and we just sort of think it's a neat part of history to be preserved.
And for the employees at Rikers, it keeps things interesting.
Every day is different. The people are different every day. There's always something new going on.
Something going on like Wacky Weekends, where every weekend it's 4 cents off a gallon of gas. And Rikers is able to do this and remain profitable, not just because of the service, but how quick they deliver it. So quick that they finish before we could even set up for an interview.
It's just good service. The faster in, faster out.
Rikers certainly holds its own.
The building is the same one that has been standing since 1909. Things like the roof have been replaced, but no additions have been added to the building. In fact, they still use the original safe from when the building first opened. The building, the employees, the service is unlike any other gas station in the area, and everyone at Rikers intends to keep it that way.
That high-touch customer service, we like it, so we've kept it going. We take a lot of pride in it. It's a neat place.
And when asked what keeps people coming back for years,
it's a service. You know, you get personal service every day. Every time you come in here, there's somebody waiting on you. I hope they take away that they had a good experience here.
We have every intention of continuing the tradition.
Other gas stations have been found to have opened before Rikers, but none of them are in continuing operation today. When we come back, Mel has a recipe she created all on her own. Welcome back. Grilling hamburgers and hot dogs is something that we all do over the summer, but Mel has a Cajun pork burger that will have you never going back to beef.
Born on the bayou? Well, I wasn't. And despite all those pretty posies and exotic birds, it's those snakes and alligators that keep me from wanting to visit there. That said, plenty of Creoles and Cajuns call this mysterious outreach of Louisiana home, and they cook some of the most fantastic one-pot, one-skillet meals. Join me for a few minutes this morning while I show you how to make my Bayou pork burgers with Ragin' Cajun remoulade. And it's a lot like our cocktail sauce in that it's served chilled and it's used to accompany or dress cold meats, poultry, or fish dishes. Now the Cajun Creole people, which are French in heritage, they've jazzed theirs up just a bit, and they add Creole mustard, horseradish, smoked paprika, and cayenne for heat. And in this container, I've got 1.5 cups of chili powder, 1/2 cup of Louisiana Creole mustard, 1/4 cup of red wine vinegar, 2 tablespoons of horseradish, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, a full tablespoon of smoked paprika, and a full teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And I'm going to put all of this in the work bowl of my food processor, and you can smell this smoked paprika. I'm going to turn this on for about 10-15 seconds. Adding 1/2 cup of vegetable oil slowly through the feed tube. This is just going to make it emulsify and thicken up. This looks perfect. perfect. It's glistening and it's thick. I've transferred my remoulade sauce to the bowl, and I'm going to add almost a cup of fresh parsley. Just picked that out of my garden this morning. Almost a cup of diced celery. About a half a cup of green onions. And about a half a cup of white onion. Give this a really good mix. Now I've got a half a cup of mayonnaise, and I'm going to add about a cup of my remoulade. This is classic Creole remoulade. We're making it Cajun by adding some mayonnaise to it. And I'm just going to stir this together. This is going to be the topping for our pork burgers. Looks wonderful, smells wonderful, nice and creamy, great texture. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with this a little bit later. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator, and it's time to put our pork burgers together. These Bayou pork burgers are a lot of fun to make. And a pork loin left untrimmed when ground has just enough fat on it to grill up a thick, juicy burger that will rival any beef burger that you've ever eaten. I've got 1.5 pounds of tenderloin. I've left all of the fat on the outside of it, and I've cubed it, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch cubes, no rules there. I'm going to put all these in the work bowl of my food processor. And a food processor is a wonderful way to grind all of your meats. I grind a lot of beef in my food processor as well. Put the lid on. Put the lid on. We're going to use some rapid on-off pulses. I use about 25 or 30. That meat is coarsely browned and perfect. It's beautiful. We're just going to put this in a bowl. And there's no reason to wash your work bowl here. It's still very food safe. I'm adding peppers and onions. I've got 1/2 cup of white onion and 1/2 cup of yellow and red bell pepper. Now you can use green and red bell pepper if that's what you really want to do, but I really like the subtle taste of these sweet peppers better with pork than I do the green and red. So add these to the work bowl. And again, with the pulses, about the same, 15-20 this time. Vegetables perfectly minced in a short period of time. Just add these. Heat. It wouldn't be Ragin' Cajun without a tablespoon of Cajun seasoning, a generous tablespoon of Cajun seasoning, and a 1/2 teaspoon of Tabasco. Everybody loves Tabasco. Okay, I think I'm going to put 3/4 of it. Now girls, don't wear your jewelry when you're making these. There's only one way to mix this meat, and that's to put your hands in it. Looks pretty, smells delicious. Want to get it really thoroughly mixed. This takes just a minute or two. Now, it's going to feel a little bit looser than a typical hamburger mixture, but do not fret, and do not be tempted to add an egg or breadcrumbs or any kind of binder, because there's one thing about pork. When we turn this into 4 even-sized patties, it is going to cook up on the grill just like a burger will. I've got 4 beautiful pork burgers here. I'm going to turn my stove on to medium-high heat. I'm using a grill pan. You can use a cast iron skillet. You can put these out on your gas grill. Do them any way you want to do them. I'm going to place all of these to the pan. If you have a grill pan that fits over double burners, you can make 8 of these at once. And I'm going to let these cook for exactly 6 minutes per side, turning them only once. Exactly 6 minutes. They'll be perfect when they're done. "12 minutes is up. Pork burgers are cooked. Get them off of our grill pan or our grill. Let's head over to the counter and put these babies on some buns. So what did I do with the rest of that remoulade sauce that I made? Well, I stirred in some mayonnaise and then I chopped up some Holy Trinity, celery, onion, bell pepper. I tossed it all together with some cooked pasta and I made some Holy Trinity remoulade and Creole macaroni salad to go with our Ragin' Cajun pork burgers. For these and all of my recipes, just go to my website.
That was the best burger I have ever eaten. If you're worried about the spice, there wasn't too much, it was just the right amount for flavor. When we come back, we bring you some golf tips and introduce you to 2 familiar faces for our pet of the show. Welcome back. We bring you a look into the US Open, but first we do some golfing of our own with this week's golf tips with Matt Vukovic.
Thanks, Alicia. You know, it is the month of June, and that means US Open. And one of the things that golfers at the US Open are going to have to contend with are tight lies and a lack of green to work with. Today we're going to work on a shot that's going to help you with those small pin placements and having to get over large things like a bunker, the flop shot. With the flop shot, we want to make sure we have a lot of loft in our club. I have here a 58-degree wedge, and we want to make sure that our body is aligned to the left of our target. I'll step to my golf ball, I'll align myself to the left of the target, and I'll open my club face up. This will give us enough loft to get over any obstacles that might be our way, but save us from having our ball run off the back of the green. Next thing we want to do is make sure our swing comes up to a 90-degree angle, just like this. This position here will allow us to come down to the golf ball at an angle that gives it its maximum amount of spin. As we come through the ball, we want to make sure we get to this position as quick as possible. One of the big mistakes I see a lot of golfers make is they take their flop shot with a lack of swing speed and a lack of distance. So they'll come to about here and not swing all the way through. That's going to cause the golf ball to go thin into the sand trap or into the obstacle or fly off the back of the green. So remember, we want to swing up to this 90-degree angle and get to this position as quick as possible. So I'll line myself up to the pin, open the club face, take my swing back, and follow through. Just like that. So that's our flop shot. If you can add this swing to your golf game, you're going to see your scores drop. A happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. And as always, if you have any additional golf questions, see your local PGA professional.
All of these golf tips have been getting us in the mood for the US Open, and of course, Andrew Callista had to go and see for himself what it was all about.
The toughest course hosting the world's toughest tournament means the toughest fans making the trek to Western Pennsylvania. And you guessed it, they came away impressed.
My good friends, the King, said this is the best, hardest venue that you could possibly play the U.S. Open at.
Outrageously difficult, so I think takes the best players to figure out how to win this tournament. So it's definitely a true test of golf.
It's blowing my mind. Pictures, video, just do not do it justice. The elevation changes are amazing, and the greens are unbelievable. You don't realize the undulation in the course and the size of it until you're actually here to experience it, walk part of the course. So, yeah, it lives up to the hype without a doubt.
A shot poorly played is a shot irrevocably lost. Death by sand, rough, or greens are your choices, but even this monster occasionally relinquishes her prey.
Awesome. I mean, just this group coming in right here, McElroy, Fowler, and Spieth. I want to go down there and shake Spieth's hand. It was goosebumps right here, look. It was that good, yeah.
A unique central Pennsylvania connection taking place on the 15th hole, and it's only appropriate that it takes place over Father's Day weekend.
Put in an application for it and was accepted, and Dad put one in. My dad, who's here with me this week, he put in one as well 2 years ago and got in as well, and so we've just kind of made it now. We're going to try to do it as often as we can. So
the special part about it, be here over Father's Day and get to spend a week with my son, since they live in State College, Pennsylvania now, which we're 1,700 miles from State College. So, and they did bring 3 of our grandkids up here with them, so we get an opportunity to see our grandkids. But to spend a week together here, close to State College, is really special.
This is the man that taught me how to play and taught me to love the game, and he learned it from his dad, who taught him how to play, and so it's kind of passed down, and I hope to pass that on to my kids as well.
Once again, Oakmont living up to its reputation as the best host for the People's Tournament. In Oakmont, for WHVL, I'm Andrew Callista.
All right, I think we are set on golf for this show. Let's swing our minds over to Nittany Beagle Rescue to meet our 2 lovable pals looking for homes. Welcome back to the center of it all. You may recognize our pet of the show today. They've been with us before. We're joined again with Sammy and Hunter and Sam from Nittany Beagle Rescue. So Sam, why don't you tell us some more about Sammy and Hunter and why they're here today?
Well, this here is Sammy and this is Hunter. They're both, they're 7 and 8 years old, and they're both very sweet little guys. They love people, they love kids, they're okay with other dogs. They sort of ignore other dogs, but they can tolerate them very well. They really love attention. They're pretty starved for attention. They were outdoor dogs when we got them, but we'd really like them to be indoor dogs, and they'd be great in a house with people and kids and other animals. They just need a forever home where they can sit around and cuddle with their person all day.
But they still like to go out and play outside and stuff.
They like walks. They like their walks.
Now, Sam, they are returning to the show, but they had a family interested. What happened there?
It didn't work out. I think maybe they weren't able to take both of them, and we're hoping they don't need to be adopted together. We'd like them to be adopted at a similar time so that one isn't stuck at the shelter alone. They are great dogs. They desperately need a family here to give them some love and some attention.
They're really great dogs. They just need somebody. If you or someone you know is able to adopt both Sammy and Hunter, or just one of them, you can do so by visiting NittanyBeagleRescue.org. Thanks so much for watching this episode of The Center of It All. We'll see you next time.